signed up for everything.
Just about everything, yeah.
So what we need to just go.
You need to uncheck, yeah, yeah, yeah.
When we come up with a new idea or an event that most people, or people may not know would be Sounds Like Fun, specifically, last 2 years we did events at the North Carolina Museum. How would the general population know that we're going to be doing that?
So the notion of an events coordinator still exists.
Well,
Sounds Like Fun is one of the
yeah, but we know as activity directors that it fell under Sounds Like Fun, but I'm not so sure the general population would know that that event was categorized as a Sounds Like Fun event.
Got it.
It may be a standalone type thing. So if we come up with a new idea next year of doing a tour of a Civil War event, how would that be put out to the general public?
Well, I could imagine that we could either post it on the forum, or under news. We could send out a blast email saying we're getting ready to,
Okay.
you know, put in a new activity. If you're interested in that activity, it's going to be under Sounds Like Fun. You need to go in and check it. I don't know.
I presume the calendar would be a second way that would happen, but
That's another point. I don't want to
Just about to come onto the events, yeah.
But if you go to the calendar, you'll see all the events, and whether or not you checked anything,
You can,
still go to the event.
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So bear with me, and we'll show you that. I promise you I wouldn't show you everything, and I'm not going to be one of these people who say I'm not going to show you everything, then show you everything. So let me just pull out a couple of other things. So the personal information, they're the key things. I suggest once you log on, you play, you have a look at additional members, you have a look at achievements. But I really want to spend some time that we got this afternoon around financial and historical data, and specifically this thing, credit card. Now, this is something that Jess hasn't done yet. It's something that I will do. Now I have my official login. But I really don't want to be entering a credit card number each time I want to pay for something. I can. If that's how you want to operate, the system will let you do that. But I'm just going to store my credit card, just like I do with Amazon, just like I do with everything else that I do e-commerce on the web. I'm going to store my credit card on file. It is stored securely by Clever Express. So it is encrypted. You know, I can't tell you what to do, but my recommendation would be to do it. It's what I'm going to do. And then it means to pay for events is just so easy. I just say pay, and the system pulls my credit card number and sends the money to newcomers. You don't have to store your credit card. You can enter credit card each time, and the system does still allow you to pay by check, but the preference would be by credit card. You know, unless you are philosophically opposed to credit card. My recommendation. I'm looking for board support here because I'm not actually on the board. Yeah. This is when you hear somebody say we're right behind you. You can see the glint from our binoculars. You know that's. But yeah, it just makes life so easy. And I say just even receiving 40, 50 checks for this wine tasting. It's just one event for Friday. The amount of work just involved in checking the names off, and then there's a delay in the money going in, and who's sent and who hasn't, and this just removes all of that. So
if I could just add,
please.
Said, Dave, one of the reasons we wanted to do this is because, and we ran into it, things like wine tasting and fee events, is people say I want to come, but they don't send their check. I'm just guilty as anybody, and so then we don't know, well, who's coming, who's paid. This takes care of it all. So it has to go this way. Yeah.
So I tell you, I'm going to store my card number there, and then it makes it really easy. It's like single-click shopping. Everybody's discovered single-click on Amazon. Amazing. You click it, the next day, cardboard box outside the front door. Unfortunately, Jill has found it as well. So so we got lots of cardboard boxes outside the front door. So there we go. So that's the main thing in finance I'm going to recommend. Now you can also look at your transaction history and have you paid for things, and so your history is stored there. And again, when you leave and this is only available to you, and obviously the person responsible for finances within the club. So there's financial historical data there. We talked a little bit about interest. If I want to change my password,
Well, Dave,
yes.
I mean, what you just said, it sounded to me like it suggested that the treasurer could know your credit card number.
No,
No, no, he said no.
Okay.
no. Your credit card number, forgive me if I communicated that.
Yeah.
No, your credit card number is encrypted and no one can get access to it. The treasurer obviously gets access to your payment history. That's what I was meaning to be saying around that. Your transaction history and your payment history, but not specific credit card details.
So
Okay.
we can check if we paid for certain things.
Exactly. That's what only you and the treasurer can do that. So other members can't say, oh, he's him. He's yeah, we know Alan. He's not paid. Or yeah. So no, none of that. Change your password. Obviously, username, password. There's a surprise. And what it allows me to do is to change my username, just like Dennis said. If you don't like that, you can change it to something you prefer. And then password. And the interesting thing about password is, and websites are beginning to do this, I've just typed password and it says too easy. I mean, it's just too easy. If I say I love Chapel Hill, as I started with a capital letter, it's long, it's complex, it's a sentence. If I add a couple of exclamation marks at the end, it becomes very strong. So it can actually prompt you to create a very strong password. But do something that you can remember is what I suggest. I typically use an exclamation mark somewhere in mine, a capital letter somewhere in it, a number somewhere in it, and a word or two words. And I find very often that combination works very well for a reasonably secure password. Bless you. Okay, I'm not going to change my password, otherwise I'll forget what on earth I need to log in as Jay moved.